where we are going to prep the bottom end of the post. I'm going to use some bitumen on it. Now this is a fast drying bitumen paint that I use. Don't necessarily have to do this. This is a tannalized post, and what that means is it is pressure treated, which means they place the whole lot of the timber basically on a pallet load of timbers, and they put it in a pressurized chamber. They suck all the air out and it removes all the moisture from the wood, and then they re-inject preservative. So all the preservative goes in the fibres of the wood and penetrates it all, so that the wood is preserved and the post will last a lot longer. But because it's in the ground, it's on the roadside, we're going to put some primer on it, bitumen primer, which is fast setting, which will help protect the bottom end of the post. Like I said, they always rot above the ground first, and it penetrates down into the wood. And as you've seen, I've spent about 4 hours trying to get this much wood out of the ground, which is annoying, but there you go. So I'm going to measure from the top 1.4 meters, and we're going to paint the rest of it. So we're about ready to put the post back in the ground and concrete it in. I'm going to be using this, which is a post leveler. Attaches it to the post, and you can get a level of it without using an actual level. Very good invention is this. About £5 maybe to buy, but they're well worth the money, especially if you do a lot of fencing like me. So we're going to put this in onto the post and get the post back in the ground. Now I have given it 2 coats of bitumen paint. I did the second coat off camera, let it dry. This bitumen primer is slightly thinner than pitch, but it does soak in and it can be put on damp surfaces. It is an oil based paint and it does make it waterproof, and it is like a bitumen pitch, but it's a lot thinner, so it soaks into the wood better anyway. So that's what we've done there, and then obviously let it dry before we put any concrete around it. So we're going to get the post now, attach this and make sure we get it in the ground and make sure it's more or less level before we put the concrete in. So there you can see the post leveler. It's almost level that way, just slightly that way, and it's almost perfect. What we're doing now is get some postcrete in it and start leveling it up. Some of you will have noticed I've put it in dry. Now I'm doing this to make sure it's round the bottom of the post, and so that when I add the water now it should sink underneath the post. Anything that needs to run down will run down with the concrete, so that's why we're doing that. once you've got enough concrete in, you can just make some slight adjustments to make sure it's level, and because you've got this attached to your post, you can just make the slight adjustments and make sure it's level both ways, and that's absolutely perfect. What we're going to do now is add more water and more concrete, and it should be done then. We're going to let it set. So once you've got it in and levelled and your concrete in, this will clean up, by the way. Just making sure that the water doesn't start touching the sides of the post. Don't want it to start getting wetter and wetter and wetter. But once you've got it in, it takes 5 to 10 minutes for it to set a little bit. The post will be solid, but I would leave it maybe 2 or 3 hours before you start doing anything with it. And then you can reattach your gate, or at least leave it overnight if you can. I am going to reattach the gate to this, but I'm not going to attach it so that it's swinging. I'm going to attach it so that I can get the hinges back on it and support the gate so the weight of the gate's not on the post. That way I can just come back and close it when it's ready and set. But yeah, the post is quite solid already, and all it's need to do is to let it go off a little bit now.